and today I'm going to be doing my February book haul. So this is the time of year that I kind of slow down on my book purchases, but I do still have one book outlet order and then two other purchases that I did in February, so I decided to do just a smaller book haul for you guys for this month. And some of these books I'm really excited for, so we're gonna just go ahead and get right into them. The first book that I want to talk about is a new release, and that is Heart of Flames by Nicki Preto. I'm so excited to have this book. I've already read this book and reviewed it, so I'll link that up in the cards for you guys if you want to check it out. But I really enjoy this series. So this book is the sequel to Crown of Feathers, which came out last year, which was Nicki Preto's debut novel, and I absolutely loved it. It's a YA high fantasy following a girl named Veronica who wants to be a Phoenix Writer. And in the first book, she has to pretend to be a boy to join this group of Phoenix Writers. But I love this series so much because of the world building and the lore that is built into the story. And I really loved the plot of the first one. And while I didn't love the second one as much as the first one, I still really enjoyed it. I read it in like 2 days. Like, it was really fast and I loved it. And I ended up giving this one 4.5 stars. I'm just so happy to have this book. By the way, I got the Owl Crate version of it because the first book I got in an Owl Crate box and I wanted my covers to match, so that's why I ended up picking up the Owl Crate. It was the same price as getting it on Amazon, so I figured why not go for it. And it came with this really cute enamel pin. This is the enamel pin that it came with. I really love this pin. It's probably one of my favorite enamel pins that I've gotten from Owl Crate, even though it wasn't like an actual box, it was just for the one book. I really like the phoenix with the purple and the orange, and it works so well with the book. And I'm so happy to have this book and really excited to get to the next book in the series, which there isn't even a release date for it yet, so it's gonna be a while, but like, loved it so much. So the next book on this list that I ended up picking up is Sharp Ends by Joe Abercrombie. Of course, there's gonna be a Joe Abercrombie book on this list. I think I've pretty much bought all of Joe Abercrombie's book. No, actually, Shattered Sea Trilogy, I still don't have 2 of the books in that trilogy, so you might see more of his books on my future book hauls. But Joe Abercrombie is one of my favorite authors from last year, and Sharp Ends, I've put off buying it over and over again because I really don't like the US covers for Sharp Ends. So these are like the old covers for the First Law series, which is Sharp Ends is a series of short stories that's set within the First Law world. So these are the old covers, and I got them back when the old covers were out. They made new covers of this series, which are like black and white and red, and I really don't like it. I'll put like a little image up here with the Sharp Ends cover. I really hate it. And while I could get other covers of most of the other books, Sharp Ends for some reason only had that cover available in the US, so I bought it from the book depository. Like, I finally decided to just get it from the book depository, and I really love this cover. So when I got this book, I was actually really surprised. I don't know what I was expecting, because I expected it to be like this size, even though I knew that it was a series of short stories and that it was smaller than the other books. Like, I expected it to be like the trim size to be the same, but obviously it's not. But I also expected it to be like less pages, if you know what I mean. But it's like 350 something pages. So even though it's a novella or like just a series of short stories, it's still like a regular sized book. It's just not a regular sized First Law book. Either way, I'm really excited for this because from what I understand, one of my favorite characters of all time, Glocta, actually makes an appearance in this book, so I'm super excited for it. For those of you guys who don't know, The First Law is a grimdark fantasy series written by Joe Abercrombie, and it is fantastic. It's dark, it's gritty, it has great characters and character development, and great political situations that I absolutely love, and I cannot wait to get to this one very soon. Like, this is gonna be the next First Law book that I pick up. Now we're gonna get to all of the books that I ended up getting on Book Outlet. So the first book that I ended up picking up is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. So this book is actually kind of the main reason that I ended up doing the Book Outlet order, because there was only one of these left, and I want to get more into Jane Austen's books. Mind you, I've already read Sense and Sensibility, but I don't have the physical book. Like, I listened to the audiobook about 2 years ago, and I thought it was okay. I feel like I didn't get Jane Austen back then though. I recently, last last year read Pride and Prejudice, and I recently reread it, and I absolutely love Pride and Prejudice, like absolutely love Pride and Prejudice. So because of that, I want to go back and reread Sense and Sensibility and read her other books, and I really love this edition. This is the same edition that I have for Pride and Prejudice and also Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, so I wanted to get this edition of Sense and Sensibility, and there was only one left on Book Outlet, which is why I ended up making this order so I can get, you know, $35 or more to get free shipping, but I really wanted to get this copy, so that's why I ended up picking this one up. Additionally, I got Finders Keepers and End of the Watch by Stephen King. So this is the second and third book in the Bill Hodges trilogy. The first book in this trilogy is Mr. Mercedes, which I haven't read either, and this trilogy is actually the prequel to The Outsider, which people seem to really love, and I've been meaning to pick up Mr. Mercedes. So I'm pretty excited for this. Stephen King's one of those authors I never expect to see in Book Outlet, so whenever I see him in Book Outlet, I just add it to my cart and hopefully it'll still be there by the time I actually decide to make an order. So that's why I ended up picking these up, and I'm pretty excited to get to these. I've heard a lot about this trilogy and The Outsider specifically, so I want to read them, and Stephen King is one of those authors that I just want to read more of this year because I stayed away from his books for the longest while, but I really want to read more of his books now, so I'm pretty excited for these. The next book I decided to pick up is Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. So I've read one book by Jeff Vandermeer before, actually I DNF'd it, Born, but back then I wasn't really much of a sci-fi reader, so I think it was just a little too much for me at the time, but I feel like I did enjoy the writing and I want to give him a second chance as an author, and I've heard really good things about Annihilation. Also, it's like super short, and there's been a movie adaptation of it, so I feel like this was one that I could potentially really get into, and hopefully I'll end up liking it. I don't know anything about this book, like literally nothing. I think it's post-apocalyptic of some sort, but like I said, don't know anything about it, but I like going into my books a little blind, and I'm excited to see what this is about. The next book I decided to pick up is The Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin. Ursula Le Guin is an author that has been on my radar for the longest while, and I've been meaning to pick up her books, but I've just never got around to it. She is an author that I have one of her series in my fantasy book series challenge, so I will get to some of her books eventually, but as of right now, I haven't gotten to any of her books, and The Dispossessed is actually one of her sci-fi books that is very popular. It's one of her most popular sci-fi books, so that's why I decided to pick it up, because I saw it on Book Outlet and I was just like, you know what? I kind of want to read that book. It's been on my radar for a while, so I decided to pick up the book so that I'll have it when I'm finally ready to read it. So the next book I decided to pick up is King of Ashes by Raymond E. Feist. I feel like my collection of Raymond E. Feist books are just growing, and I haven't picked up any of them to read yet. Don't worry, he's another author that I have a book series in the Fantasy Book Series Challenge over here, so I will be getting to him at some point this year. But this cover specifically, I've been seeing all over the internet, like it's everywhere, and I want to know what it's about. I know it's like one of his most recent series, so I won't be getting to this anytime soon, but it is the first book in a newer series that he's currently writing, so I'm excited to get to this one eventually. The next book that I decided to pick up is The Queen of Sorrow by Sarah Beth Durst. So I haven't read the other two books in this series either. So this is the third book in the Queens of Renthea series. I have read the first chapter of the first book for Try a Chapter Tag that I did last year, and I enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed that first chapter. I didn't decide to read that book, I decided to read one of the other books, but I do think that I will really love the series when I do pick it up, and I've been waiting for Queen of Sorrows to come out in mass market paperback so I can have them all in one edition. So now that I have all of them, I could probably pick this one up soon, and hopefully I'll end up liking it as well. And lastly, I picked up several novels in the Demon War cycle by Peter V. Brett, included The Warded Man, The Desert Spear, The Skull Throne, and Baron. So Baron is a novella within the Demon War cycle world. The Warded Man is the first book in the series, and then I also got the second and fourth books in the series. I haven't gotten the third book in the series because it wasn't available on Book Outlet, but I will get that one eventually. This is one of the series that is in my Fantasy Book Series Challenge that I've been doing, and I'm really excited to finally get to it. Every time I see one of those series on Book Outlet, I immediately pick it up because these are series that have been on my radar for a really long time that I really want to get to. So that's why I decided to pick this one up. I'm really excited for it. I first heard of the series back when I first picked up Mistborn. Like, that's how long ago that I heard of the series, and I have been wanting to read it and I just never got around to it. Like, I just feel like I dropped the ball on this one, and I really do want to read it eventually, and I will be getting to it at some point this year, which makes me really happy, and I'm definitely excited to get to it. So that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know down in the comments if you're writing these books, if you liked any of them. I would love to discuss with you guys. I post videos every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so consider subscribing. I also post bonus videos, so if you want to be notified as soon as I upload, you can click that little bell icon. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.